Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are doing exceptionally well and welcome to my channel. And today we are going to discuss a very special topic. So, many of you have asked me, why did you name your community as the visionary parent? Now, that's what we are going to, look at top 10 tips on how to become a visionary and why exactly did I name this community, my business, as the visionary parent. Now let me share my screen and let's get started. Now what we're going to look at today is just a minute. Okay, so what we are going to look at today is top 10 tips to be a visionary parent. Okay, now I know that most of you have asked me why did you name this community as visionary, and here's my reasons. Okay, here are my reasons to name it. Now the very number one thing that why do we need to be a visionary parent is that to raise new breed of respectful, intelligent, responsible and resilient citizens who understand their responsibilities towards this country, towards this world. Okay, the second is to eliminate negativity like hatred, jealousy and anger. Now, how many times do we as parents or as humans felt this negative feelings like hatred towards others, jealousy towards others, and anger? Why do you think do we feel these negative feelings? It's because we are conditioned since childhood that I am not enough, right? That is the reason that we have so many limiting beliefs that we actually tend to operate on low vibration energy. And when we get ourselves from low vibration energy to high vibration energy, these negative words or these negative emotions will not matter to us. That's what we are going to focus on by bringing our children or by raising our children in the most positive ways. Okay, now let's get started with the top 10 tips. The number one is we need to have this abundance based approach for parenting. Now, what do you mean by abundance based approach? Well, how many times does it happen that our kid is doing something mischievous or something to hurt us? Well, let me tell you, they are not capable of hurting us. Okay, they are not capable. It's something else which is going into our mind, which actually their mischief just triggers that anger or just triggers that feeling or that emotion. And then we have a very fear-based approach usually. And that's what I mean. Like, we need to bring our fear-based approach to abundance-based approach. Now, most of the times we operate like, if my child is not studying, if my child is not doing his homework, what internal belief do we have in terms of that behavior of our child? Is that maybe if my child does not study, he might fail in he might be a failure in his life. He might not be successful. That is a fear that we carry. Now, if my child is not listening to me, he might get away with anything in life, right? That is a fear-based approach that we take. And due to this fear-based approach, what we do is we react to those situations in the worst possible ways, right? Now, that is what we need to have, this mindset shift, that we need to operate in abundance-based approach. There shouldn't be a single fear. If your child is not doing, maybe you can try, inspiring him to study. Inspiring is better than lecturing. It is very difficult to inspire, but very easy to lecture, right? So we need to change that approach. Second is stop being in the moment. How many times have we done this? Okay, now I have done it. I've experienced that. if you want your child to behave in a certain way, right? What do? We try to bribe him, right? Or we try to threaten him that you don't do that or else you'll get a smack, right? So that is being in the moment, because in the moment we are reacting to our threats, right? Perceived threats. And at that time, what we do is we bribe or we threaten or we use such words which can actually hamper the child's growth in the future. It can have an impact on the child in the future, not in the present. That is why we need to stop being in the moment, stop doing in the moment parenting, and we need to see the bigger picture, like what effect, what impact can it have on our child long term. Okay, that is the number 2 point. Third is let them build their own belief system. Now, how many times do we say such things which actually they get boxed by our belief systems, what we grew up. Now, I am not enough is a belief system which we all are struggling at the moment, right? Even as adults. Now, let me give an example. How many of you have experienced this while posting something on social media? Something you have done extraordinary, something you have experienced extraordinary. Before posting it on social media, how many times have you heard this inner voice? What will people think about me? Someone is watching me syndrome. Now, this syndrome or imposter syndrome. Now, these kind of beliefs that we have, these beliefs are built right from the childhood, right? Now, how do we develop these belief system? Because somewhere or the other, we heard our parents or someone, our guardian or someone close to us say these things to us, or maybe threaten or sarcasm or taunts. I don't know what you will do if you're not studying. Or does your teacher know Chinese? I've said this in my previous video, but then I'll still repeat it again. So does your teacher know Chinese language? Because I can't read any word of it. So these kinds of sentences really have a profound effect on our child's brain. And that's what even that the person will be, the child will be carrying throughout their life. This inner voice, the child is going to listen to even when they grow up. So we need to be thoughtful of what we are saying to our children and let them build their own belief system rather than being boxed into our own belief system as parents. Okay, that is the third point. Now, this is a very fascinating, or we all know this, but this is what my mentor says. My mentor, Dr. Paul Jenkins. Our primary job as a parent is not to make sure of everything, is not to make sure that the child is studying, is not to make sure that the child is well fed, is not to make sure that the child is obviously they have to be responsible, but in the end it's not our responsibility. Our primary job is only to love them no matter what, and even if. Is it? Our primary job is to love them no matter what, and even if they get under our skin sometimes, even if they do not listen to us, even if they build frustrations in us, right? So that we need to remember as a visionary parent. The fourth or fifth one is give respect, receive respect. Now, if you want your child to be respectful towards elders, to be respectful towards their parents, you need to show that level of respect to your child first. Only then they will have a sense of respect for others. in family as well as outside the world, right? Many times parents fall back through these loops of punishments or taunts, sarcasm, timeouts, which actually teach them the opposite. It teaches them that respect is not necessary, or respect is conditional. No matter what, you have to respect others. And what happens is that when we hit our children for their mischiefs, when we yell at them, we are not displaying we are not modeling the behavior of respect. They are actually learning something else from that. They are not learning to respect others, right? The next is, it is never about you. Now, I know that we get frustrated when our child is doing all kinds of mischiefs, but when we are angry, we tend to point it towards our children, that because he did something, that is why it boiled my anger. But it is never about you. It is about, we always tend to blame someone else when we are angry, when we are frustrated, when we are when we are facing resentment. It is always someone else. We are always blaming someone else. But what we need to understand here is, we are out of control at that moment. And I am the live example of it, because I am a person who will get angry very fast, very short-tempered. But recently, I'm doing a lot of things to to get control of myself, because anger is not about others; it's about you. There is something within which has to change. It is not, usually when we are angry, we want other person to change. We want other person to change his behavior or change his thought process. But anger means there is something to be changed within, not outside. So this is a very important point which we all must understand and introspect while we are getting angry. The next is, anger is a byproduct of something which is internal and never external. Like I said, if you are angry, that means probably there is something which is to be changed from within. It cannot be external. Okay. The next is seeing the bigger picture even in small things. Now, suppose if your child is continuously doing something which you've told not to do, and you just lash out at your child or hit your child for not listening to you the 10th time you're saying it, probably the child, obviously there has to be some consequences, but the consequences can be applied even in the calmest manner. You don't have to yell, or you don't have to lash out at them so horribly. So seeing the bigger picture even in the small things is what a visionary parent does, right? The next 2 points are the most important according to me, because that is what sets the foundation of your relationship between a parent and child, between you and your child. That is gratitude towards your kid. So what I would suggest is, say thank you for coming into my life every morning to them, because they are angels and they are here to teach us a lot more than we even know at the moment. They are here to teach us so many good things, right? So many amazing things we can learn from kids. They forget easily. They are always happy. They are happy beings. Why? I mean, it's just so amazing, fascinating looking at them. One moment they are crying, the next moment they are all happy, and they will forget their sorrows entirely. isn't that something which we need to learn from our kids, right? So this is an activity which you must do every morning. That will set the intention for that particular day. Now, if you're starting your day by thanking your child to be in your life, I think that day will be the best day you can even ever imagine. And you'll actually love playing with your kid or spending time with your kid. Try that and let me know if that really affects it, that really makes a change in your thought process. The next is set family vision statement. Now what happens is that if we have this family vision, right? So how do you set a family vision statement? So the number one thing is what character we want to instill in our kid, right? What character do we want to instill? The next is practical applications, like you need to take them to NGOs or some non-profit organizations or some of that sort, maybe orphanage or old age home, for them to realize their importance, their worth, that they're living in such a great family. The next is how to communicate your vision to your kids. Now, this is something which you as a family need to decide. Now, as I said, that what character we want to instill. Is it something, for example, like what word do you resonate with the most? For example, I resonate with integrity a lot. And that's what I want my child to have, integrity. Your word can be responsible, resilient, independent, any word which you completely resonate with. And you need to set that as your family vision statement, right? Now, how to communicate your vision to your kids. Now, this is something which you need to sit with your kid, and you need to actually tell your kid that value that you want to instill. Now, I always, tell my kid whenever in the night when we are sleeping, I always try to, say these words like, we need to be honest, we need to be humble, we have to tell the truth no matter what, right? And this is something which I continuously tell every night before sleeping to my kid. Now, the last one is, what are the rules you want to be focused on? So the rules, according to your vision or your value, it has to follow the same rule. And if the rule is not followed, there has to be a consequence for that. Now, this is something which you can decide as a family, which consequence you need to set for that particular rule. It entirely depends on the family to family. Okay. Now, this is something which I really, really like. These are the 10 points for being a visionary. Now, if this is something which you really resonate with and you really want to know what are the next steps, or if you want to get in touch with me, I have my FB group. You can join that, and Telegram group right below the YouTube chat. I have in the description, I have given the links. You need to join me and I will see you there. Thank you so much. I think that's about why exactly I named my community as the Visionary Parent. Now, if this is something which really resonates with you, do like, subscribe, and comment on my video. And I'll see you next time whenever I have a new video for you. Bye-bye till then.